Yeah, well, it's across the board. Like you said, when you get to a point where you think I should have done this a while ago, the way I see it is accidents happen all the time, and especially nowadays, you any social media or just drive through any city and you see all the signs: interact, need a check. If we don't win, you don't pay. So just remember that the poorest people in this country can hire the best attorneys. It costs them nothing. And you can't set these things up after the fact. So it's being proactive and getting these things started immediately is so important.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Adam Kintigh, has spoken at real estate investing seminars over the past 15 years and has been involved in tax strategy, estate planning, setting up businesses, self-directed retirement accounts, and much, much more over the last 20 or so years. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on here. I always like to start off at the top of the show by asking guests how they got into real estate space, and in your case, the real estate services space and working with investors.
Yeah, it was dumb luck. I had a friend that had referred me into the business, and previously I was a licensed insurance agent. I was licensed in 43 states, and uh, had a looking for a change, and a friend referred me to work for a company. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I said, well, how am I going to do that? So I talked to a guy. He gave me a stack of books, and I got very fortunate in working with top attorneys and CPAs and financial planners and estate planners, and just helping business owners and real estate investors with their asset protection, tax planning and strategies, and all the fun stuff that comes along with that.
I have recently discovered in my own growing business as a real estate agent, but also as a podcaster, how important this is, because I think most people as newer entrepreneurs start thinking about these things maybe when they're maybe a little bit behind the eight ball. They're like, I probably should have done this a little bit earlier. But then, of course, you've got, medium and large size businesses that have been doing this for years. Is there like an avatar of someone that comes to you, like a more established business, someone starting out, or is it across the board?
Yeah, well, it's across the board. Like you said, when you get to a point where you think I should have done this a while ago, the way I see it is accidents happen all the time. And especially nowadays, any social media or just drive through any city and you see all the signs: interact, need a check. If we don't win, you don't pay. So just remember that the poorest people in this country can hire the best attorneys. It costs them nothing. And you can't set these things up after the fact. So it's being proactive and getting these things started immediately is so important. If you have one rental property, the question becomes, what would it cost you just to file a response if there was an accident? And of course, your insurance, everybody keep good insurance. Just remember, there's so many things that happen that insurance won't pay or won't pay enough. And that's why having that LLC set up and operating properly is so important. In the event that this were to happen, there was an accident that the insurance didn't cover, you want to make sure that you're not the person with these massive legal bills. And that's why it's being proactive is so important. And also from a tax standpoint, depending on the type of investing you're doing, if you're doing wholesaling, rehabbing, or if you're a general partner in a syndication, you have active income. thousands of dollars in tax savings just to have your LLC set up and taxed properly and documenting things properly. So whether you're looking for tax savings or asset protection, again, I can't go backward for things that have already happened. So getting these things set up and established immediately is always important.
Do you mentioned a couple different niches that you're involved in, tax strategy, asset management and planning. You mentioned, when something happens, you want to make sure that you're set up properly. I want to ask a couple granular questions about, where folks can potentially utilize your services. Tax preparation, is that something that you do?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, we have we're partnered with some of the greatest CPA firms. So we have used to be in-house where we had these, our CPA firm is in our office, and as that grew, they moved into a different location. So they're a couple miles down the road now, but we're really fortunate that we get to work hand in hand with all these top tax professionals in any questions that pop up, and being proactive and doing tax planning is something we love to do.
Anything involved in the bookkeeping space, or is that separate entirely?
We have people that do bookkeeping. My recommendation usually is to find a local bookkeeper. Uh, you can work with a CPA firm to do bookkeeping. What I found is they normally charge 3 times the amount that would cost you to hire a local bookkeeper. And depending on the size and scope of what you're doing, if you have a few rental properties, that may not even be worth it to have a bookkeeper. If you could keep if you have a property manager, they're going to provide you with all of your uh, capital maintenance and or improvements or repairs that you do. So depending on what you're doing, Excel spreadsheet, spiral notebook, whatever system you can use to keep things organized is fine with me. But again, bookkeepers, they're, I think, very valuable. If you're one of those people that you really just you cringe when you hear bookkeeping, see if you can hire a local bookkeeper for a couple $100 a month to keep you organized on those things.
That was definitely me when I was thinking about that. I said, well, I don't know how much I'm going to have to be spending on this, but I want to pivot a little bit here and ask you, about the vertical integration when we talk about tax strategy, when we talk about, tax preparation, also setting up your business properly. I'm actually surprised that there's folks like yourself that are vertically integrated in this stack, because in many cases I've seen this myself. When I've gone to ask folks for tax preparation, they say, no, we just do this, we don't do all these other things. So it is very convenient to be able to go to you for all these services.
Yeah, it's important. Most people don't know. I work with people that have been operating for 20, 30 years, and their tax professional literally plugs in information, says, here's what you owe. And rarely do they take time to explain to people all these things that are available that they can do a little bit different uh, to help save money in taxes. And I think the tax code is really written for business owners and entrepreneurs in the US and investors to be able to keep more of the money they make. So when you're just a regular W-2 employee, you make the money, they take taxes out as you make it, and you use what's left to pay the bills. When you have a business, you're going to make the money, spend the money first, and then pay taxes on what's left. Your dollars go a lot further when you have a business, or even as an investor, you have passive income. It automatically gets offset by passive losses. And even though you put money in your pocket every month, you pay little or no tax on that money that comes in. So tremendous benefits to owning real estate or having a business of any kind. The tax code is written for you to be able to keep more of that money. You just need to be working with professionals that will let you in on those secrets of how you can keep more of that money in your pocket.
When I think about not just seasoned investors, but also newer investors, and also folks who may be on the service providing side, whether that's as a broker, an agent. mortgage broker, there's a lot of mistakes that can get made very early on, thinking like, hey, I'm not a business owner, when in actuality you are, right? If you're starting out in any of these niches, you are a business owner. You're working for yourself. Is there a point in time where you think it's right to reach out to someone like yourself? Is it maybe ever too early, or when is a good time, right?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, if you are starting a business in your SOP, immediately reach out to professionals and get your entity set up right away. It's the date of incorporation when you're forming the LLC. That date of incorporation is what matters most. So as you're planning a business, oftentimes I hear people say, "Well, I talked to my CPA and he said I don't make enough money for me to be incorporated," and that's a big fat question mark. And I remember that the the highest your highest audit risk is when you file a Schedule C, and that's where you're itemizing out your business expenses. It goes on a Schedule C. You are 900% more likely to be audited when you file a Schedule C versus an S corp or an LLC taxed as an S corp. The audit risk is almost zero. It's less than 1/4 of 1%. So you keep that in mind. And additionally, there's things that an S corp or an LLC taxed as an S corporation get to write off that you as an individual, sole proprietorship, do not. So there's a lot of advantages to getting these things started immediately. And again, I can't go backward for money you've already made. We're very limited on expenses for things that you have spent money on prior to the date of incorporation. The IRS limits you to $5,000 of startup cost and $5,000 of education for any expense prior to the date of incorporation. So it's really important getting that set up, and hopefully you're starting to see why I say that date of incorporation is so important, and also from a protection standpoint as well.
I want to ask you about the investing space, because folks may be coming to you for a number of different things, getting set up as a business, for tax strategy, but they may also be wondering, hey, I'd like to do real estate investing, or maybe I am a real estate investor, but I'm not too familiar with the tax strategy side. How much guidance are you able to give folks as far as, hey, this is maybe an asset class that you should look into, or you should be looking at these types of deals? Is that something that you do?
That's a good question. No, we are not investment advisors. I wish I was smart enough to tell you what to buy, when to buy, and where to buy. That is not our area of expertise. Um, Plenty of other people that may help you with that. We will help you on the tax and legal side of things, in the protections, estate planning, self-directed retirement accounts, tax planning and strategies. Those are the things that we specialize in that we can help you with.
Got it. I want to ask you a follow-up question to that. Cost segregation. This is, to my knowledge, a part of tax strategy, but there's also people that specifically do cost seg. Do you do cost seg? And then also, what's your opinion of cost segregation in general?
Yeah, so it is a amazing strategy for a lot of people in doing these cost seg studies. Um, we don't do the cost segs. Our CPAs will take those cost segs and make that part of your tax planning and tax strategies. And I always just remind people that doing a cost seg creates these massive depreciation losses that can then flow back to your personal tax return and offset your W-2 income. So I work with a lot of people that are high W-2 income wage earners, and either you are a real estate professional and you meet the qualifications to be a real estate professional. What that allows you to do is, for all these passive losses that can only be offset by passive income, it allows those passive losses to offset your other sources of income. Um, so you or your spouse have to be a real estate professional to qualify for that, unless there's the short-term loophole, where if you have an Airbnb or a VRBO, short-term property that you're managing yourself, you can meet the material participation requirements. Plenty of people do that as well. Or it's 100 hours in managing the property. Your hours are greater than that of anybody else involved in the management of that property, or the 500 hours rule, where you or you and your spouse meet the 500 hours for material participation in the management of the property. But yeah, this creates these massive losses that can be tremendous value. Does it work for everyone? No, it does not work for everyone. I would recommend that you absolutely reach out to your CPA, reach out to a professional, and talk to them about that as a strategy to help you keep more of your money.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
When we're talking about, you mentioned offsetting a W-2 income, high earners. I have a question for maybe folks who wouldn't consider themselves high earners. You know, maybe teachers, maybe work in local government, any number of jobs and professions. But maybe they're getting into real estate, or maybe they have a business that they're starting aside from this. Is it possible for them as well to potentially offset some of their W-2 income taxes?
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you're not a high income wage earner, the way that they've got the tax code set up is if you make $100,000 or less, then your passive losses will offset your active income. So if you were a teacher or you had a regular W-2 day job and you also have rental properties, those rental properties are most likely creating passive losses. And when you make less than $100,000 a year, those passive losses will offset your other income. If, however, you make more than $100,000, that's your modified adjusted gross income, and this is whether it's just you or is married filing jointly, or more than $100,000, for every $2 above $100,000, you lose $1 in passive losses. So by the time you've made $150,000 as your modified adjusted gross income, those passive losses will no longer offset your active income. That's where the tax planning comes into play, working with good CPAs, good tax professionals to help you with those strategies.
For folks who may be listening to this, including I'll throw myself in this batch, thinking, well, that sounds complicated. How do I even know what questions to ask? You know, I already maybe have this business or this investment. How do I make sure that, you know, I'm going about this the right way? Will you, guide folks along the path, say, hey, you have this. This is actually how you can take advantage of this. You know, we see that you have this investment property, this Airbnb or what have you. This is how you can, offset this income using this property.
Yeah, we have a team of professionals like myself that will take the time to go through what you're doing and how you're doing it, gather up some information of what you're doing, have a consultation. There's no cost for that. And we can plan out then the things that you can and should be doing to protect yourself and your family, cover your estate planning, and make sure that you're documenting things properly for tax purpose as well. So yeah, we'd love to do that.
Adam, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go to reach out to you? Maybe they've got tax questions. Maybe they're starting a business and want to make sure it's structured properly. How can folks get in contact with you?
Yeah, go to, if you just send an email to nchconsultation@nchинc.com, then we can schedule a time and one of our professionals can have a talk and we can figure out what it is that we can help you with. Again, it's just nchconsultation@nchinc.com.
Adam, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.